here we are again, Daniel and me, introducing a brand new course. Now, hold on a minute. We have done all 10 courses of this Master of Art in Apologetics and Polemics to Islam, which is coming to you by Zoom webinar. We do 5 every year, 8 weeks long, and we've gone through all 10 of them two times. We are now beginning a third time. And each of these courses are 8 weeks long. They are all on Monday night. In the East Coast of the United States, they start at 8 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock in the evening, and they go till 10 o'clock at night, and then we open it up to Q&A. So if you're live, you can then throw questions at us. And some of those Q&A periods, Daniel, don't they? Some of them go for an hour, some of them even go for 2 hours, depending on how many questions you have. And you, being those who have registered, there's the registration right there at the bottom. Go ahead and look at them. Now, the thing is, this is a master's degree course, master's degree. However, we know that an awful lot of you want to learn this material. We go through 10 different subjects over a 2-year period, 5 every year, 1 in the summer, that's this one here, then 2 in the autumn, and then 2 in the spring. And then after we complete all 10, we start again like we're doing here. This is IS 501, and this is looking at Islam in the 21st century. That's what this is about. Where is Islam? What is it doing? Who are the people involved? And how are we as Christians engaging with them? Now, you notice, we as Christians, this is only for Christians. I'm sorry, I know some of you want to take it who are not part of the church, but unless you know Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, unless you believe He died and rose again on the cross, this is not a course for you, because this is from a seminary. It's called Veritas International University. And it's also, if you want to register for any of our courses, right there at the bottom, look at the bottom, I've got the email. It's info@ves.edu. Let me repeat that, info@ves.edu, including this course. This course is IS 501, Introduction to Islam in the 21st century, in our century. So what we're going to do, Daniel, you've been working with me. All 4 years that we've been together. Daniel, you teach about 3 or 4 courses on your own. I teach about 3 or 4 courses. When I say teach, we co-teach, don't we? And
yes,
including this course, we're going to be co-teaching this one. You'll be doing some lectures. I'll be doing some lectures. And then we also have other professors. We have Al-Fadi, who teaches the Deen and the Iman. We have Dr. Paul Blackham, who does the Trinity and the Christology of Jesus. And then we also have Dr. Daniel Brubaker, who does the Quran. That's his area of expertise. So we have 5 of us who do the teaching. We all have doctorates. We all have doctorates in Islamic studies, and we've all worked with Muslims for 10, 20, in my case, 40 years. Daniel, you almost 30 years coming up, right? 20-something years.
Yes, it is.
So lots of experience. That's why we're doing this, and we come live to you every Monday night. We don't record them and send them the recordings. No, we're there live so that you can hammer us or agree with us or disagree with us or ask questions concerning how it's applied in your own area. Now, Daniel, let's go through. Why don't we go through this course, IS 501, and let's go through each week what we're going to be teaching to introduce it to the people. I'll start because I'll be the one that will be doing the first lecture, and that is, where is Islam today? Where are they? What are the demographics? What is their historical and theological political differences that in each area? Because there is no just one Islam. There's a multiplicity of Islams, and we need to show you on the map where they are, what their agenda is, and how we as Christians are engaging with them depending on who's standing in front of us. So that'll be the first week. Obviously, the first week also is when we have the introductions, and we introduce all the students. And that's why we encourage any of the students who are registered to try to show up for that first Monday night. Now, let me give you the dates. It'll start in June, and it'll start on June the 17th and go all the way to August the 5th. So June 17th to August the 5th, that's 8 weeks. We will not skip any weeks. We will go consecutively, one after the other. So every Monday night, always at 8 o'clock in the evening till 10 o'clock. June the 17th, we're going to start this course. I will do the first half of the lecture. Then there's a second half of the lecture, which Daniel will do. And that will, though we're starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, in United States, wherever you are in the world, you're going to have to dovetail what your time is. And we have a lot of people coming from Nigeria. It's 2 o'clock in the morning for them. But you, Daniel, will do the second half of that teaching. What's going to happen in the second half?
I will be honing in on the agenda of Islam in the 21st century. So worldwide, but then especially here in the immigrants to the West, to Europe, to America, and to South America as well. And we'll look at what they are seeking, what they want to do, how they're operating. But the agenda is very, very important. In fact, this whole course is so providential right now for our students, because this is what's happening to us now. We need to understand all these different aspects of Islam. So it's a very good course to start off with. And in the second week, we'll be dealing with the breakdown of Islamic groups today, the primary structures in the Islamic world, key players, strategies, and a Christian response to those particular agendas that they have that we are very familiar with, and many of the agenda pieces that we are not familiar with. And that's what we need to cover. And then I will also be taking the third lecture, the third week, and I'll be looking at radical, nominal, and liberal Islam, the three different groups, three different aspects. I'll be defining those groups. We'll look at the history of radical Islam and its specific agenda today, the dilemma for the nominal Muslims who often seem left out in what's going on. And these are the ones that are more open to Christianity, and that's good for us to know. But there's the difficulty that we have concerning the authority for the liberal Muslims. And we're going to try to respond to these groups and how we can reach out to them with the gospel. So that's the third week as far as the lecture.
From there, the fourth week, I'm going to delve into really 4 different types of categories of Islam. Remember, what we're doing, what Daniel and I are interested in is what are these groups doing today? We don't care what happened 2 years or 4 years. That's why these lectures are going to be brand new. Every time we do this, we've got to upgrade it. We've got to bring it up to the modern context. And we're going to be looking at the political and theological differences. That's the first 2 groups, looking and seeing what their agenda is politically. And you can see the politics is fast moving. We've got to keep on top of it. And even as I speak now, even though I'm putting the lecture together, I'm having to dovetail it. It's going to have to continue to be changed as we come into July. And then we're going to look at the popular and academic. What do we mean by that? Well, the majority of Muslims in the world are on a popular level. That's the popular agenda, which is different than the academic agenda. The makers and shakers, the opinion leaders of Islam, have a different agenda than people on the street. So we're going to explain that to you. And I'm going to be the one that's in charge of that material. Then that's the fourth week. In the fifth week, then, I'm going to take what Daniel has talked about when he gave the background between the radical, nominal, and liberal, and I'm going to really unpack the radical. The radical are the ones that are causing the problems politically. They're the ones that are attacking us right, left, and center. People are confused. They don't know who these radicals are. These are the people I work with. These are the people I worked with for 25 years in Britain. Sheikh Omar Bakri Muhammad, the Muhajirun Party. Many of them joined ISIS. I've had to deal with the Tabligh Jamaat and all these large radical groups. I've had to engage with the Boko Haram. So these are the people that I love the most. So we're going to do a whole lecture just at the radical element, why they're moving so quick, why they're so, in some ways, so attractive to a lot of Muslims, and what is their agenda, and what in the world is going on. It seems to be happening all around us, but the world doesn't understand them. I do. So that will be the fifth week. Over to you, the sixth week. What's happening then?
Okay, the sixth week, we're going to then take this information about what we've learned of all these different groups, and we're going to look at how we can respond to them, reach out to them. So we're going to assess models which have been used in the past, some very successfully, others we need to avoid or understand better. But we're going to look at the problems that exist within and between these different responses and how we can use them to reach out to Muslims. That is something that is close to our hearts. We want to reach out to Muslims with this information and bring them into the kingdom of God, the true kingdom of God. That's lecture 6.
So that's lecture 6. What about lecture 7, the penultimate lecture? We're dedicating this lecture, I'll be doing this on what is our response to the dais. Now, who are the dais? Well, the word da'wah means to invite in Arabic. Somebody who's like me or Daniel, we're both missionaries. We go and we invite people to Christianity. Islam has the counterparts, and they're called daists, and they have an agenda. And da'wah is very intricate. It's very sophisticated. It changes depending on what part of the world you're in. So I'm going to be unpacking all that, looking at who the major players are. What are the major groups? What are their agenda? Where are they working? How well and how effective have they been in using that agenda? That will take up quite a bit of material there on week 7. Then the last week, week 8, is the future. Where is Islam going? Taking everything that we've taught you for the first 7 weeks, where they're going to say, hold on. So where is their trajectory? What should we expect? Can we keep up with them? Are we following their agenda? That we're going to do the 7th week. And then Daniel, you're going to end off.
Yes, I'm going to go ahead and deal with how we can reach out evangelistically to Muslims with all this material. And we will have gone through a lot of different aspects, and then we're going to boil it down. What will work best in reaching the Muslims that are around us? We've got to have some good ideas and plans and methods. So it is kind of wrapping everything up and getting us to put our eyes on the pathway forward as we reach out to Muslims, and also just to get an idea of where we will be going in the future with all these other classes. So this is foundational to what we will do with the other 7 courses.
Yeah, in some ways, this sets up the whole program, doesn't it? This sets up
Yes, it does. Yes.
all the ones to come. So in many respects, it's a standalone course. We know that each one is a standalone. But in some way, this gets you going to see what their agenda is, to see where they're going, to see where they are, and then all the other courses dovetail to what we're doing on this one. Now, I did say that this is a master's degree. But Daniel, there are other categories, aren't there? What's another category after the master's? There are some people that don't want this for credit, but those who do want it for credit, it is a 3-credit course. Each credit costs $330, and so it's cost about $1,000 for this course if you're taking it for a master's degree. As a master's student, you're gonna have to already have a bachelor's degree to prove that you can be matriculate. This is an accredited course. But then you'll be required to write papers on what you're reading to keep up with the journals. You're going to also you're going to have to discuss with other students what the lecture is and have a feedback for the lectures. You're going to have a paper that you're going to have to write at the end of the course. You're giving another 6 weeks beyond that. So it's 15 weeks long for those of you who are taking for a master's degree. And then also, you're going to have to also do a final exam, which is about 6 questions. So there is material, there is work you're going to have to do because you are getting it for credit. But not everybody wants it for credit, do they, Daniel?
Right. That's why we have the audit section. And in the audit section, you will have access to the website. So you have all the materials there. They will stay up there. You can download them. In fact, we want you to have these materials, not only the recordings, the PowerPoints, but also a whole slew of PDFs of materials that you will be able to utilize and give out to others. We want you to have the material. And the audit course is one that you will not have to do the reflection papers or the discussions or the research paper. You are there in a spot where you can take what you want. You will have access to the discussions. You can discuss the material with the other MA students. You will have that access. But if you are too busy, you will not have to do that, but you will be able to pick up all the other information and have an online access in that regard. And how much is that, Jay?
For the whole course, it's just $325. So for the master students, it's $330 per credit. There's 3 credits. That's already $990, just under $1,000. And depending if you're a new student or returning student, or if there are some other auxiliary fees, just smaller fees. So it's a little over $1,000 for the master students. Sometimes it's $1,300. Others times it's less. But for the audit, it is just for this course, it's $325. Now, that's the second tier. There is a third tier. These are what we call personal enrichment. These are people, mostly they are Christians who are missionaries that are out on the field. They don't want to have to write papers. They don't want to have to participate in these discussions during the week. They don't really care about reading all the material that's coming out. But from the master students, they just want to be there for the lecture Monday night. And they just want to listen to the lecture. They want to say, I'm here in so-and-so country. I tried this. This is what happened. I tried this. This did not happen. Help me here. So they want access to us as teachers, us as professors, because we're there live with you. They want to make sure that they can use it in the countries where they're ministering. For that personal enrichment, we call it, you only pay $225 for the entire course for all 8 weeks. You don't have access to the POPI Live for the other students are. You just have access to us as professors and also the other students who are there live. So that's the 3 tiers: master's degree, audit, and then personal enrichment. Yeah, over to you, Daniel.
And with the personal enrichment students, tell them what they will receive each week after the course, after the class that we have.
Great point. Because of the fact that many of you are living in Africa or in Europe, you're maybe off to in other parts of Asia where you're fast asleep. Where it's 8 o'clock in Eastern Coast time in the United States, it may be like for the Nigerians. We have quite a few Nigerians. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I was just in Czech Republic where I gave my last lecture. It was 2 o'clock in the morning there. Now, you don't want to stay up at 2 o'clock to be able to listen to these lectures. So every student, all of you, doesn't matter if you are a master's degree or audit or personal enrichment, you all get the recording of that lecture the very next day. I record everything that we do in that 2 to 3 to 4 hour period, but we're following PowerPoints. Daniel is putting together PowerPoints. So am I. So is Alfadi, Dr. Paul Blackham, Dr. Brubaker. We all have PowerPoints that many of you want to use. Those PowerPoints will be sent to you the very next day. I will send them in an email for all of you who are registered. Anybody that's registered gets the lecture recorded, plus they get the PowerPoints. However, there are also a lot of PDFs, don't we, Daniel? We have a lot of auxiliary material. But just explain those.
Okay, as we go through, people mention different resources, PDF, books that are on PDF or articles. We'll go ahead and collect those. I put them up on the Populi site for the other students, but we will also send those out every week with the email that comes to you. So you can download them and have those for your use.
So you get the lecture, you get the PowerPoints, and you get the PDFs. And that's what we find an awful lot of people want to use, because these are the newest articles on whatever that subject is that we're on that week. You may get anywhere from 2 to 10 PDFs every week, and that will stay online. So you don't even have to get it that week. Every week, we then add that to the list so you can go back through all the 8 weeks and get the ones you missed. You can always do it, and then you can watch the lecture at your own leisure. So that's the 8 weeks starting June the 17th, Monday, June the 17th. So that's just a few weeks from now. You need to register. There's the registration. I'm giving you the URL right at the bottom. It's info@ves.edu. Folks, we'd like to have as many of you on board. This is the beginning of a whole new set of 10 different courses. This is the very beginning one. As Daniel said, this is foundational. This will set you up and introduce you for the rest of the 9 courses that are coming after. June the 17th is not too far away. Do register. Do get in touch. God, we can't wait to see you. And for many of you, Daniel and I, we'd love to be able to not only be able to lecture for you, but to engage with you as we learn from you. God bless you. This is Daniel and I, over and out.